Hello everyone, Treecks here and welcome back to Yoshi Story. Yeah, the serious voice doesn't really work with a game like this. But anyway, welcome back to Yoshi Story. We are going to play the game for a third time. Every single page in this game has 4 stages to go through. And we've only done 2 of them. As the trial mode shows off here, stage 1 and 2 for every single page has been unlocked because of playing them during our run through story mode. And therefore we have them in free play mode. But we are not satisfied with that. We want every single stage, of course. This is somewhat of a 100% playthrough. Not entirely, but more on that later. There's one thing I'm not really going for. But in the grand scheme of things, that's also not really that important. Today we are going to start with page number 1 again. There's a third stage we need to go through. And perhaps we're also going to do page 2 immediately today. Last time was a little bit of a shorter episode, so I might be inclined to actually play 2 stages again today. But we'll see how long the first one takes. During my practice runs I found out stage number 3 is not really that long. None of the stages in page 1 are, so not even that one. But after clearing Surprise, this time we are going to start with Rail Lift. The first page being the only one where the stages are unlocked by default, of course. For all of the other stages we need special hearts in order to unlock them. Okay, I promised I would use the white and black Yoshi for the 4th and final run. That would be nice for a finale. So I'm going to ignore them again during this 3rd run. And let's go pick light blue instead. It is nice of black and white that they are here in order to crank up my Yoshi score. Also a factor in your high score, of course. Having 8 Yoshis will always give you 800 points at the end of the stage. Here we have a block that will actually tell about Shy Guys how you can change their colors by ground pounding. Something you might have noticed already. But the reason why this is actually an interesting mechanic is because if the Shy Guy is actually the correct color, you can get extra points from them, as you can see over here. Because of being a blue Yoshi, and the Shy Guy also being blue, it will give you extra points. Otherwise it was only going to be 1 heart. And therefore 1 point. But if the Shy Guy is actually in the correct color, compared to your Yoshi color, you can actually get extra points from them. They're worth more if they are the correct color. Allow me to demonstrate. Mr. Yellow over here, if I kill him, 1 heart. Mr. Green, 1 heart. Of course the multiplier still applies. But if you really want to max out your score, you're going to want to make sure all of the Shy Guys are actually in your Yoshi's corresponding color. Which means... Oh, oops. I'm trying to bounce on these guys in order to rack up my score, my multiplier, but if I start missing them, that won't work. Let's just move on. Bouncing around the Shy Guys in order to get some high scores, fun and everything, but we're also collecting melons. Here's the first one, carried by, indeed, a Shy Guy. The second one is over the spit, easily gotten because it has a parachute, so you don't really have to fear it falling into the abyss. Number 3 is at this sign over here, apparently. And the 4th one should be in another bubble again. This one right over here. Be careful, because this one will fall instantly. No parachute, so be careful for this one. Here we have a question mark bubble. You can guess what is in that. A switch. And that will actually start forming some exclamation point blocks. Not per se these ones, these are always here. These are for continuation, but to the left we can actually find some more. Do need to be quick, of course, because it will run out and these things will disappear. Leading to the first special heart of the stage. However, that is not everything. Of course, there is more. As you can see, there's another switch. So it goes on even further. Let's eat the butterfly for some points. And we actually get to the top of this room. A shortcut, you might say, because this part over here, hugging the right wall, will also lead to it. There's no melons, I'm pretty sure, because in practicing I was able to get 30 melons without actually checking out that area, so I'm going to ignore it now too. But here we do find one, so thank you. And that is it for the first room. Second room. The music becomes somewhat interesting now. But there's also a Poochie here, so we know what time it is. And here we find the rail lift. The platform follows the dotted line. Hit the switch to get on a new track. The name giver of the stage. We find the platform. If you start jumping on it, it will actually start going. However, it is not as simple as actually following the track. There's actually a lot of coins here because of this lucky fruit, so... Not too sure if I'm able to get all of them. Yeah, I can. Barely, but still. Ran out just in time. Here's another melon. Can also get it while going on the rails, but... Can also grab it from down here. And this is actually the mechanic we're working with. As you can see, there's a switch here. If we hit it, we can actually change the direction of the track. That is going to be the main gimmick of this stage. And besides that, also trying to avoid a couple of obstacles like these bumper balls. Second stage in a row we're playing actually where guide rails are a thing. Because we just came from the second run, of course. Where we did Lift Castle. Also making use of a similar gimmick. A lot of guide rails lately here in Yoshi Story. But anyway, room number 3 should be the minigame room. Yeah, indeed, another delivery minigame. By far the most common of all the minigames. This one being a lot easier. We're back in World 1, of course, so... We're not doing that tricky business from World 6 anymore. That will be for later. So, this one is pretty easy. Just a little slope. That's the only obstacle here. If you're not able to do this one, you might as well stop trying. Oh, I can't wait for the one in page 6. That one is absolute hell. Next letter is the U, the third letter in our message. It's already starting to look like something. And pretty predictable that there's coins at the sign, by the way. Let's move on. Room number 4 is another one of these guide rail rooms. This one is easily gotten. 18, and therefore another lucky fruit. Let's also get the special heart quickly before... Oh, come on. I want these coins. Coins are my life. It would be nice if you don't move away. There you are. 19. Let's ignore the switch for now. We'll be back for that later. First we need to go to this upper pathway. A lot of melons here. That was not a smart idea. But I got away with it, luckily. So, anyway, this bubble, like I said, actually contains a switch. You can actually press it now. However, I think it's actually a better idea to work on this pathway first and actually come back here later. Because otherwise you're going to skip this part and won't be able to get the melons here. But this is no matter what a section you need to do twice anyway. So just remember, whichever way you take, you need to come back here later. If you do the switch first or this part, you need to do it twice anyway. Here's the final special heart, so we've got all of those. This part should lead to the end. At least the end for now. Because I'm pretty sure this is the final rail lift section. Ooh, a free egg. Thank you. You need plenty of them, so as you can clearly see, eggs is actually the only thing that can hit these switches. Don't try doing it another way. Jumping or your tongue does not work. Oh! Miss! All of a sudden, a quote from Mario Party came to mind. Miss! But we're going to pass it again, so this time it's a little bit easier getting them. 27 should be where you're at if you're taking this route. With number 28 up here. And then reach the end of stage 1-3. Miss Warp number 4. And in this case, a Miss Warp you can use. Because remember the switch that we've skipped. And Miss Warp is a perfect way to actually get back there. Number 3 is actually what you're aiming for. Number 2 is below the first rail lift section. And number 3 is at the end of the minigame. Where we want to be. Because the beginning part of the next room is where that switch is. And therefore also the final 2 melons. Let's hit you. Make sure we have enough eggs. Make sure to go on these clouds. As you can hear, there was a chime. If you don't go on this cloud, the next switch won't appear. And that is the whole reason why I would advise you to actually do these runs separately. Because if you're going for this switch run, you won't be able to actually get all of the melons. Because of being in such a hurry when going for these switches, it's pretty difficult getting all of the melons that appear on this route and a little bit off the route as well. So my advice in this part is actually go for the regular pathway first, getting all of the melons. And then come back here later for the switch. Especially because of that first part where you're actually forced to go on those clouds before the next switch appears. And therefore you're not really able to go for the melons in that part. This is a much better way to do it. And those should be the final 2 melons of the rail lift stage. We have another melon complete. There goes the first third stage. The first third stage. Sounds weird, I know. 5,700 points is not bad. Mostly because of the enemies in the stage, I think. But it's a good start. Run number 3 has begun. New to the world, the babies didn't know much, but they knew to keep trying. With teamwork, the Yoshis could find the tree at the end of the book. Shy Guys tried to keep them down, but riding on clouds, the Yoshis happily escaped. Once again, the page turned, and the Yoshis grew happier. And I see we are at 11 minutes. And 11 minutes is really short, so even though stage number 3 in the cavern is a little bit longer, that's something we're also going for. Let's not waste any time and let's immediately go into Jelly Pipe. Probably one of the more interesting stages in this entire game, if I need to be honest. Let's go pick yellow for this one, and let's go see what we have. Let's not talk about the music and the weird background here. This is a hip-hop version of Yoshi, you might say. Jelly is actually what is the main gimmick of this stage, as you can see. We see how it works, but this message box is probably a better way to explain. It must be jelly. Slick and slimy, red and blue. Try walking on this mysterious goo. If you see a ghost in the jelly, ground pound his head, or try to run away. Apparently also enemies can appear in this jelly, but the jelly itself, it's pretty obvious how that works as a platforming gimmick, as you can see. We can ground pound it to actually punch it in further. But that is what we'll be working with in this stage. Oh, and here's an example of the first enemy, who actually got the first hit. Ground pound this guy in order to knock him down to the bottom, and that will kill him. Okay, the slowed down version, because of being out of health, is actually much better. Yeah, whenever you're out of petals on your flower, you will actually get slowed down versions of the music. And I can see there's also jelly at the ceiling now. Works pretty much similar, but in our case we don't want the fruit in here, so... Oh, apparently this living water is not very good to eat. In that case, let's stay away from it. Coins. You can actually use your sniffing in order to walk on this goo slower. So you can actually make it easier to keep going downward, even while moving forward. Oh, this one is coins. Really easy. We're not even hindered here, so... If you screw up this one, you should be ashamed of yourself. Look out! If you bump the spikes, you'll get hurt. Do your best to stay alert. And therefore saying, make sure you actually don't go too high whenever crossing this. Walking while sniffing, like I explained earlier, actually works wonders for this, so... I could recommend. Next up would be the part where the first special heart appears. Down there. So we also need to go down in order to get there. Come on, Yoshi, don't eat the fairies while they're blue. Let's go push this block. Remember, don't break it open. We need it in order to jump. Otherwise you can't get up this high. There should also be a secret. Yeah, here's melon number 2. And let's not forget to actually go back to this crate, because this time we do want to break it. It also has a melon. It's not an empty crate just for a little step in order to jump higher. It is also a melon. Let's wait for the fairy to actually turn red. Going down! Oh, come on! Don't you disrupt my ground pound. But anyway, there's a split pathway here, as you can see. First we want to go all the way down. The split pathway we just skipped to the left is actually continuation. So first we want to go over here. We can kill you right over here, but we also want to go down in this pit. Because as you can see, the goo is not solid here for nothing. It's trying to obscure a melon. And this crate we want to push in too. Yeah, because as you can see, if you push a crate in the jelly, it will also turn into a melon. Something that won't happen if you actually break it open with a ground pound. So make sure you do it like that. Next up, a giant slug. This slimy creep likes the dark. He hides away from fireworks. Ah, the game is trying to explain a mini-boss coming up. But before we actually take a look at that, first let's go up here in order to find another crate. And remember, don't break it open, push it in the jelly, because only then you will receive a melon. Come on. Oh, there you are. I was getting kind of worried that it actually went through the wall, which I'm pretty sure the lucky fruit did do. Oh, there you are, there you are. Come on. Yeah, we still got it. Although it is still completely pointless because we're gonna go in a vase now, so it's gonna run out anyway. But anyway, here is actually where the message box talked about another mini-boss. Something that also occasionally appears in this game, of course. At this stage, also having one. This giant slug being pretty easy. The game was pretty clear what we need to do. It's hiding from fireworks, so as you can see, a regular egg shot does not work. We need to make sure it actually gets hit by the explosion of the egg. And 3 of those hits, and he's gone. Leaving behind a special heart. Making it extra easy is the fact that there's also an egg block here, so you can't even run out of ammo here. Very easy mini-boss. But we'll be seeing more of him later, I'm pretty sure. And then without the egg block, so that one will be a little bit more difficult. The only way out of here is through this tunnel over here. Also a throwback to Yoshi's Island, I'm pretty sure. One of the extra stages in that game also made use of that kind of tunnel. But the downside is it actually puts you down all the way back at the beginning, as you can see. So you need to go run all the way back to the split path we actually skipped earlier. But since we've got everything, all of the melons and all of the special hearts on this route, we can simply run, run, run. Except for this part, of course. Need to be careful here. Yeah, there we go. Get out of the way, stupid, useless fruit. Okay, where were we? This is actually where the split pathway was, remember? If we go down here, there's actually also a route leading to the left. So make sure you don't ground pound this time. And flutter jump to the left. Hug the right wall for a melon. And you can go all the way down here in order to get back to the same area with warp number 2. But in order to continue, you want to go in this little niche over here. Down here is where we were earlier, and there's no melons there. At least, not anymore. Let's go to the final room of the stage. The final main room. Here we find a new type of enemy. Guys that actually roll around on the slopes here. Pretty easily avoided. They actually don't give you any points, but you can use them for eggs. Ow. Yeah, because of not giving any points, it also does not heal you, so be careful for these guys. Healing we need to do with the melon. And here's special heart number 3. But obviously can't get it from here. For that we need to go down. Here we find some more stars. Be extra careful, because the rightmost one has a tendency to drop into the jelly immediately, as you can see. But once that has been taken care of, let's head left. We will find Poochie over here for a secret, but that secret we're going to save until later. First, there's something else I want to do, and that is right over here. There's a crate here. Remember, don't ground pound this one. This is a crate we want to open up in another way. Warp number 3 and a melon. And even further up, another crate we don't want to open up. Ooh, new enemy. Boos. And these guys actually function with our controls. If we hold down, they will go up. If we move left, they will move right. If we move right, they will move left. They actually mirror our moves, as you can see. Making them pretty annoying to actually deal with. But in the middle of their little line is also a melon. Giving us lucky fruit, because this was number 12. Let's continue pushing this block. Remember the jelly we actually found at the bottom right of this room? Yeah, and that is where we actually want to bring this one. Ground pounding on this actually does not work. Oh, here's another melon in the booze. Quickly grab that and let's continue. Can be a little bit tedious, this part. Pushing this block all the way down. But unfortunately, it's the only way I found out you can actually get the melon in here. In the jelly. And a couple of seconds later, a melon pops out. So, with that little circle taken care of, let's go in this secret now. Poochie's here to point us out. There's platforms here. And the platforms will actually lead to the special heart we saw earlier. And also another melon hidden in the ground. At least if these water guys actually leave us alone. Thank you. Next up. Melon in a bubble. That one is easy. Number 16. And here is the final special heart in the stage. So, we've already got all of those. Now, all we need is 14 more melons. The final part we have not been to yet in this room is actually to the right over here. The top right of the room. Whose boo? Big or small, a ghostly boo will move the opposite direction as you. The control stick moves up, down and all around. Plan your moves with great care. Yeah, that's something we already knew, game. You should have placed that block earlier. We've already met a couple of boos. Miss Warp number 4 we can find over here. Pretty weird location for a Miss Warp, but still. This corridor does go on for quite a while still, so... We need to find all of the melons on this pathway. Here's number 17. Here's number 18 and 19. The game is making it easy now. Do it in one shot. Bam! And another lucky fruit. Make sure you move out of the way so I can get your melon too. That should be 20. And another easy one. 21. Make sure you go over me. You can get melon number 22. 23. Yeah, this part is really easy. Pretty obvious. Next up, we're going to want to try to barge our way in here. Yeah, count them, 3 question mark bubbles. This final part of this room is melon paradise. Let's try to get them in one shot. No. Oh, wait. Still able to do it. Thank you. Lucky fruit. Even though we've been finding plenty of lucky fruit in the stage, I'm not too sure where the hidden letter is in this stage. Like always, every single stage will actually have one. But where the one for this stage is actually something I'm not too sure of. I do know melon number 28 should be found over here. And the final 2 should be the 2 crates we were missing. Here's actually the second crate belonging to the one we actually found at the bottom left of the stage. If you push it all the way down... Hopefully it does not despawn. Okay, luckily it didn't. It does go off screen for a little while, so... But anyway, that is number 29. And also number 30. This stage is done. Overall pretty maze-like, but not really that difficult. There's still plenty of linearity in the stage, not making it too difficult. 30 melons means melon complete. Let's go rack up our mood. We end with a mood of 5600 flat. Awesome. Nice round number. Total score, third way through, 11,345. Let's move on to the third page. The Yoshis decided to take a shortcut through a pipe that went underground. Below it was dark and damp, and the creatures that lived there were ugly and slimy. They were scared, but they crawled through what could be at the other end. The page turned, and the Yoshis grew happier. Yeah, for happiness we need to be in page number 3. Probably one of the best worlds in this game. There's not a single level here that I don't like. So, next time, a lot of joy. Stage number 3 for page number 3. As you can see by the placement of these stages, they actually take place on the tops of these mountains. And therefore we get a new type of setting yet again. Next time, page 3. Thank you for watching another 2-stage episode. Next time might even be another one. Or perhaps just one again. All depends on how long these stages take. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Treecks out.